Shalom, 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 my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, the Native American Indians, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shalom, shalom, peace and greetings to you all. I'm your brother Ananias.
Brother Ezekiel.
Brother Leonidas.
And we are A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And as always, it's an honor and privilege to come before you to give you another edifying and uplifting lesson. Today's no different. But before we get started, we want to give our honor, glory, and praise to the YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWAHSHI, for the abundance of all things. YAHAWAH being the Heavenly Father, YAHAWAHSHI being His Son, who the world calls Christ in the Paleo Hebrew. But nonetheless, we give what just due is deserved. But nonetheless, welcome everybody to another end of the week Sabbath class. And we're going to do our best to edify you once again. But before we get started, nonetheless, I want to make sure that everybody is aware that we got feast days approaching. All right. What you see before you is a list of the upcoming feast days that are coming up here shortly. You got the blowing of the trumpets, which will be on September the 17th at sundown, which will be the beginning of the 7th month. That's when they celebrate, or when we as a nation celebrate the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. Also, we got Day of Atonement coming up. That's on September the 27th. That's a day of affliction that we as a nation actually celebrate and do as commanded, as well as Feast of Tabernacles. That's coming up in October the 2nd through the 7th. All right, so those are the 3 feast days that are approaching. So make sure that you're preparing yourself and getting your spirit in order so that we can rejoice and celebrate amongst each other and for the Lord. So just want to bring that out off top. But today's class is going to be taught by the mighty brother Ezekiel. So I'm going to pass it off to the brother. It's on you, King.
All right, thank you. Shalom, Israel. Well, I said, we want to thank the Most High for allowing everybody to join in on tonight's Sabbath class. And tonight's Sabbath class is going to be called Protection of God. Protection of God. All of us need the protection of God, but all of us won't get it. Some of us will, some of us won't. Reason being is something that God requires of us in order to receive His protection. It's not guaranteed. It's not automatic. So we're going to start the class off tonight with the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 18. And tonight, I want to let you know we're going to be going into a couple of stories in the Bible, giving examples of how God protects His people. And we will be giving a couple of examples of how He don't protect His people. You know, but we're going to start off with Leviticus chapter 25, verse 18.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 18. Wherefore, he shall do my statutes and keep my judgments, and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land of safety.
Right, it says, ye shall do my statutes and keep my judgment and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land in safety. So the opposite of that is if you don't do my commandments, you're probably not going to dwell in the land in safety. You know, like I said, it's something required of us in order to receive His protection, and that thing is keeping His commandment, doing that He's commanded us to do. We can't be around here doing whatever we want to do and expect to receive protection from the Most High. And that's protection from anything. There could be protection as far as being financially stable, protection as physical harm. We need protection for both of those things, but we have to trust and believe in God by doing what He's saying in order to receive. Not saying that just because you're doing it, you'll never come across any problem. But you have to put forth a great effort to keep His commandments. But let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 1 through 2.
All right.
Because the one who's on this call, we all want that protection.
All right. The book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In him will I trust.
Right. The metaphor of God is being for to signify the powerful defense against any harm that potentially could come your way. You know, a divine protection. That's when he said fortress. You know, can't take that word lightly when you hear the word fortress, because it's like I said, it's a divine protection from the Most High. You know, uh, a powerful defense, as I said. Now, all of us should want that. You know, that's something everyone should desire because there's so much wicked stuff that come your way in this world. So all of us need a fortress put on by God, the divine defense against evil doings that could come your way. You know, that's what all of us looking for. And like we always say, everything come back to keeping the commandment which would be pleasing to the Most High. A lot of people get down and pray and ask the Lord to do this for them and to watch over them. In the meanwhile, they ain't doing nothing and expect him to uh, grant them a prayer, what they requesting, and it don't work like that. It's almost like a quid pro quo. You do this for me, I'm gonna do this for you. You know, I give you this if you give me that. You know,
That's right.
but from there, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10. Isaiah chapter 41 and verse 10.
Isaiah 41:10.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness.
The Lord said, fear thou not. That's a message of reassurance and strength. When he says, fear not. Uh, it should encourage us to have faith in the Most High. Fear not. He letting us know we don't have nothing to worry about. And as we all know, the Most High, he cannot lie. So that should encourage us to believe and have faith in the Most High. Uh, Basically, he gonna have our back. As long as we doing our part, we have to remember this. Have to remember that. Let's get that in uh Second Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 3. Like I said, it should encourage us to have faith in the Most High. Second Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 3.
Book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3, verse 3. But the Lord is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil.
Read it one more time.
2 Thessalonians, chapter 3, verse 3. But the Lord is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil.
You see that? He shall establish you and keep you from evil. He is faithful. But like he's faithful to you, get what? You got to be faithful to him.
Right.
It's like you cheat on the Lord, he don't mind filing for divorce. You know what I mean? He don't
Uh,
mind for divorce. So we got to be faithful to him just like he gonna be faithful to us. And we have to really believe that we can't just hear that and let it go in one end out the other.
that's right.
Can't just take it as a joke because it's not a joke. But let's get the book of Second Kings, chapter 6, verse 13 through 20. And this is an example of God's protection right here. The book of Second Kings, chapter 6, verse 13 through 20.
All right. This is the book of Second Kings, chapter 6, verse 13. And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host. And they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, a host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do?
Stop right there for a second. I forgot to mention this is when the Syrian army had went to Dothan to see Elijah. So go ahead.
All right, verse 16. And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them.
Right. So they telling him to fear not. Don't be afraid. Read.
Verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Verse 18. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria. And it came to pass, when they were come to Samaria, that Elisha said, Lord, open the eyes of these men, that they may see. And the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and behold, they were in the midst of Samaria.
Hey, can you hear me, brother?
Yeah.
We hear you now.
Okay, the screen was going in and out. Could you go back to 17, verse 17? Tell me.
All right. Book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha.
Read.
And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness.
He's not talking about uh uh not with physical blindness, not with a physical blindness. Read.
And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way, neither is the city, neither is this the city, Salaki. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria. And it came to pass, when they were coming to Samaria, that Elisha said, Lord, open the eyes of these men, that they may see. And the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw. And behold, they were in the midst of Samaria.
Right. So the Most High made it so they went recognize Elisha. And he made it where Elisha was able to lead them out of Dothan into Samaria to their enemy's land. You know, and that's the type of protection that he had from the Most High. Most High did basically like a miracle for him. And you got to think, if he was into all types of wickedness the Most High wouldn't have did that stuff. So again, like going into the importance of keeping His commandment, being true to the Most High, so you can get that protection. Because He didn't have to do that. He could allow them to get slaughtered. But again, like I said, that's just an example of how the Most High looked out for people back then who was being faithful to Him, keeping His commandments. And so that is like an example to us what we must do while we here now, if we want that same protection.
Let me add something to that, King.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just going back to verse 17, Elisha had prayed that the Most High would open his servant eyes so he would see what he had said or spoke about earlier in that verse. Let me see. Because when they woke up, it said, when the servant, I'm going back verse 15, and when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, a host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? So they woke up, and his servant, Elisha's servant, looking at all these men and horses and chariots surrounding them. He's like, hey, Lord, what should we do? But Elisha said, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. So he was explaining to him when he prayed to the Lord to show this brother that we as a nation of people got angels around us, protecting us, and they always with us because the Lord is always protecting his people, especially when we do what's required of us as a nation of people. So he prayed that the Lord will open his eyes so he would be able to see. And he said, verse 17, and Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain, was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So these were spirits, angels all around them, ready to do battle on the Lord's behalf, to protect us as a nation, to protect the prophets at the time, but still us as a nation. And as the brother made mention of in the beginning, these were people from Syria, from the land of Syria, seeking Elisha. But when he opened the eyes of his servant, he showed him that the angels were there to protect us. That was the protection of the Most High. YAHAWAHSHI. What is on you, King?
So thanks for bringing that up. Thanks for bringing it up. And we looking for everybody, all nations don't have it. We will have the protection. The nation of Israel. And like I said, he is not guaranteed to have the protection, and he will take it away if need be. And we're gonna get a few verses showing that he would do just that. The book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15.
5:8.
5 and verse 15.
Okay. Hosea 5. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 5, verse 15.
Sir.
I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early.
Right. Well, I said I would go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense. Definition of offense is a breach of a law or a rule. So he said that he would go and return to his place till we acknowledge our offense. And he said, and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early. During their time of sorrow, their time of pain, they'll seek the Most High early. So if he returned to his place, that means he returned to his place, he left somebody behind. Meaning he didn't. Right now, he just gonna let us go through it because we have, like I said, we have breached a law or rule. We can do the Most High's law. So he's gonna go and return to his place. Whatever we cannot do, it all, like I'm gonna probably say it a few more times. It all come back to the Most High's law for their
That's
protection.
right. Hey, just looking at that, at the bottom of that verse, it said, "In their affliction, they will seek me early." It ain't gonna be, oh, I might, I might hit hard times. I might have to come back to the Most High. We might have to deal with them. He said, "You will." Ain't no getting around it. You know what I'm saying? In our affliction, he set it up that way, so we will have to come to him. That's what we must understand as a people. The Lord set it up, and he put these afflictions on us because we didn't serve him. We didn't seek his face. So when we turn our backs on him, he gonna set it up where we have to come to him.
Right.
That's what we need to realize. It's on you though, King.
Right. Like I said, I mean, the Most High recognize that we breaking the laws, and he won't protect us until we stop breaking his laws and stop doing whatever he's telling us not to do. Like I said, we're still net people. We want to do what we want to do, not what God told us to do. And sometimes, I heard the saying, "You don't believe white meat grease," or it's "Oh, you from Missouri? I have to show you." They say Missouri, show me state. I'm gonna have to show you. But let's get, the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6 through 7.
Call that out one more time.
Book of Hosea, chapter 4, 6 through 7.
All right. The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, and it reads, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children."
See
As
that?
they were
Most High said, "I will also reject that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children." And that goes back to the title of the class. Protection the government, mean, okay, if you say you're gonna forgive, it's like, okay, if you're no longer receiving my protection, I'm gonna let them do whatever they want to do. Read verse
All right, verse 7. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame.
See, by us saying he shall change our glory into shame. In that,
I don't know if that's me or what, but it sounds like you a little choppy. Brother, is Zeke choppy?
Yeah, he breaking up a little bit.
I'm gonna leave and come back in.
All right. Read that one more time. Hosea chapter 4, verse 7. And it reads, as they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. And that's the same thing that's going on today. You good?
Right.
Out of town now.
Sound good.
A lot better.
Okay, let's bring that verse 7 out again. Hosea 4 and 7.
It says, as they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame.
Right, that's what we're dealing with now. It no longer seems like we have glory. Everything about us damn near shameful. Every time you turn on the TV, whenever you hear something about Israel, it's shame. Go out and see us out and about in the grocery store, and we look shameful. You know, it don't look like we have any glory about ourselves. That's because, as most I said, that I will also forget thy children. He did that because he said we have rejected knowledge, we have rejected laws. So in order to reverse that, we have to start keeping his laws. You know, it was severe punishment that we received for not keeping no nine laws. But
Want me to read on?
now that's all I got on there. You can bring it out if you want to.
All right. Verse 8, it says, they eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be, huh?
Nah, I was just gonna say it said they set their heart on iniquity. That's all they thinking about in their mind, sin.
Right.
Go ahead.
And there shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them for their ways and reward them their doings. For they shall eat and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom and shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed to the Lord. See that? That's exactly what our people doing right now. He didn't put us through punishment, captivity after captivity, but yet and still we ain't turned from our wickedness to serve the Lord. We ain't taking heed to the Lord. We still full of ourselves, and our mind is set wholly on doing iniquity, you know, and we still getting punished, and our people don't sit down and consider the things that's actually going on. We just going to and fro, constantly being punished. We asking why, but we ain't asking what is actually causing the why. You know what I'm saying? We just going through the motions.
I got a
It's on
precept.
you, King.
Go ahead, bro, Sloan.
Okay, this is going to have like when we what we were saying earlier when we do wrong and we continue to do wrong, the Most High He'll rightfully turn His back on us for not keeping His commandments and the things He requires of us to do. So this is going to the book. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, starting at verse 17. It said, "They sacrifice unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods they came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that had formed thee." So you know that when we get away from what we're supposed to be doing, we go off into like different forms of we may not view it as such on the surface, but when we kind of dive off into immerse ourselves with different things that don't have anything to do with the word of God, it's a sense of idolatry in a sense. It can come in many different forms. And then when we do that, it said these are new gods. So like what people would think uh, idolatry is like like they did like in the book of Exodus. That's what they think of like idol sacrifice, like statues, altars, and things of that nature. Like we have things we do modern day that's almost to the same equivalent. People idolize celebrities. They idolize money. They idolize stature and clout in society. You know what I'm saying? They do these different things, and by doing things, he goes on to say in verse 19, and when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. So then in that he's saying, when we in the midst of our wrong, he said he ain't have no he may have, because he has love for us. You know, he'll help us out a few times, but you know, if he ain't just gonna keep letting you disrespect. At a certain point, he's just gonna turn his back on. And that's the given. That's rightful. So, and that's all I want to put out for that.
Yes, I appreciate that. All right. Let's get that Malachi verse 3, chapter 3, verse 7. Malachi chapter 3, verse 7.
All right.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 7. Even from the days of your fathers, ye are gone away stray from mine ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord. But ye said, wherein shall we return?
Right. So God said, return to him, and he will return to us. Meaning, like we said, giving us protection from our enemies, allowing us to prosper and function well as a nation. You know, he said, return to me, and I shall return to you. That's another stipulation, though. Return to me, and I return to you. So if we refuse to return to him, he's not going to return back into us. And we have to remember, we need the Most High. He don't need us. He can hold out from us forever. We can't hold out from him forever.
Right.
That's a game of tug of war that we're gonna lose every time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But I wanna go to the book of Maccabees chapter 1. And we're gonna read all the way through 28. And this is just a story in this book of Maccabees, again going into an example of the Most High protection. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 21. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1 through 28.
This is the first book of the Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened that after Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. And he was gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries and nations, and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after
So we're
these
talking about
things,
Alexander the Great right now, or Alexander the Greek, as we know. That's what we're talking about right now. Go ahead.
verse 5. And after these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them, while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bear rule, everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And the evils were multiplied in the earth. And there came out of them.
Hold on, King. Hold on, King. Verse 9, it said, when them people that Alexander had chose that put crowns on their heads, realize what it said right there. It said, and evils were multiplied in the earth. It didn't say they was added. It wasn't subtracted. And we all went to school and learned a math system. It said they multiplied evils in the earth. The Greeks, the Macedonians, the folks that came up under Alexander the Greek, it said when they took over, it multiplied evils in the earth. You got to understand that as well. This is part of the world history that is in the Bible. These are the things that they teach you about, some of it, about these other nations that's actually in the Bible. But just wanted to bring that out right quick. It's on you, though.
Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus, the king who had been a hostage at Rome. And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Of the who?
Of the Greeks.
I'm about the Greeks. This is the history that we don't get when you read in the actual Bible. You ain't gonna hear about where the Greeks were actually established at, how they were even spoken about in the New Testament. This is where that history is at, in the Apocrypha, in the Maccabees. Go ahead.
Verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that were round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
See that? Yeah, wicked men that left out of Israel and that were in the midst of Israel trying to persuade us to go deal and be with the heathens, just like it is today. Oh, they're not that way. They're not bad. They're not like that anymore. They be trying to persuade us to go deal and make covenants with the heathens. And they winning and convincing a lot of our people, especially through the Christian church and these other religions. But it was the same thing then, just like it's the same thing now. But it's on you though, King.
I also want to add one more thing to that while you're reading. You said this is also something to consider when we dealing in the things that our people tend to immerse themselves in when they dealing with the heathen, assimilating their ways and their customs. So that also goes into people who operate within our Greek fraternal and sorority systems.
Right.
They're assimilated into their custom. They're making deals with the heathen. So when they throw up and they give honor to the those Greek fraternities and those Greek sororities or whatever, they are assimilating the heathen customs.
Hmm.
So
Greek customs at that.
Greek customs, exactly. Okay, so verse 11. In those days when I went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. The certain of the people who were for herein, that they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Wherefore, they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
Hmm. You know what that is? That's them gymnasiums.
The gems. Right. Okay. Verse 15. And they made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
We said the hell with keeping the Most High's laws, just like our people do today, and wanting to participate and be Olympians, just like we want to be athletes today. Well, man, the hell with the laws, man. That's boring. I want to go to the NBA. I want to play in the NFL. I want to play in the soccer league. I want to do this. I want to be just like the heathen. So we forsook, we avoided, we forgot about the holy covenant, the agreement that we made with the Most High, and joined ourselves to the heathen to do mischief. It's on you though.
That's good.
Verse 16.
Verse 16. And when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of two realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen, and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt, and he returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light, and all the vessels thereof. And that's the menorah, the candlestick of light.
Mm-hmm.
And the table of the shewbread, and the pouring vessels, and the vials, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crowns, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off.
He came and got everything. Read.
Verse 23. He took also the silver and gold and precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went to his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women were changed. And every bridegroom took up lamentations. And she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion.
Right. I want to bring that out just to show that how when they start following after the heathen and taking on his custom and said, let's do as they do, basically. Be like the heathen, then that would allow the Lord allow all that stuff what he just read to happen to them. Had they had not decided to go against the Most High and try to do that, that never would have happened to them. It's like, it how he took his protection away from Israel back then. It says the land also was removed for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. Why were they covered with confusion? They no longer had the protection of God.
That's right.
So we have to, like I said earlier, we have to stay on it. We have to realize that there's no way around it. We got to do the Most High commandment, and all of us gonna slip sometime. And But we have to pick ourselves back up and try not to slip again.
That's right.
But that's why
Let
I
me
want to
appreciate
bring
right
it out.
quick.
Yeah.
All right. Let me go to the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 34, right quick.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to start at verse 13 and read 16. And it reads, "The spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. Whosoever feareth the Lord shall not fear nor be afraid, for he is their hope, for he is his hope." So the spirit of those individuals that fear the Lord, they shall live, because we trust in the Most High. Whoever fear the Most High shall not be fearful or afraid, because we hope in the Most High. Verse 15, it says, "Blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Lord, to whom doeth he look," meaning that the Lord look. I mean, we fear the Lord, so we look to the Lord. And who is his strength? We realize that's where our strength comes from. This the key part right here, though. Verse 16, it says, "For the eyes of the Lord are upon them that love him. He is their mighty protection and strong stay, a defense from heat and a cover from the sun at noon, a preservation from stumbling and a help from falling." So this is just like, put it in the mindset of how you, as a father or a mother, when you were looking over your child when they first came into this world or when they first began and started walking, your eyes were constantly on them children, making sure that they were protected. You know what I'm saying? That they had a strong state, that they was protected at every aspect of life. You know what I'm saying? You didn't want them to stumble. You didn't want them to fall and hurt themselves. That's the same way the Lord is with us. When we fear him, when we love him, when we trust in him, the eyes of the Lord are always upon us. When we love him, meaning keeping his commandments. You know, and he's going to keep us from stumbling, and he's going to help us from falling. And that's one of the key things that we have to have embedded in our mind to keep us afloat, to keep us enduring in this truth, regardless of what the world may throw at us, or even the thoughts in our own mind. We got to realize our trust must rely or reside in the Lord. But it's
That's
on you,
right.
though, King.
I appreciate that. That kind of go with this next script a little bit. Well, I'm about to bring out on the book of Psalm chapter 9. Psalm chapter 91, verse 9 through 10.
All right.
This is
The
the
book of
book of
Psalms,
Psalms.
chapter 91, verse 10.
Read.
"There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy
Get
dwelling."
get 9. Get 9 first.
Okay,
Chapter 9. Verse 9 and 10.
gotcha. Like the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 9. "Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation,
The
there
word
shall
refuge.
no..."
Yep. The word refuge. The definition of refuge is a condition of being safe or sheltered from pursuit of danger or trouble.
That's right. "Because
Got
thou
that?
hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation,
Read.
there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling."
You see that? Long we doing what we supposed to do, the Lord said, there shall be no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. So long as we doing keeping it like we supposed to, don't worry about no evil coming to it.
That's right.
In verse 10, like he's saying, he won't allow the plague to come your way. Long as you keeping the command.
Verse 11. "For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways.
So
See
he gonna
that?
have that. Oh yeah, you got it.
Nah, go ahead, King.
Now it says, for he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. So he gonna have his angels watching over you. When you doing what you're supposed to do, he gonna have his angels watching over you. And that's that assurance,
That's right.
you know.
Those are your guardian angels right there.
Right.
Not your Charlie's angels, but your guardian angels.
That's right. But now let's get John chapter 9, verse 1 through 2.
Call it out one more time.
John chapter verse 1 through 2.
Okay, this is the book of John, chapter 9, verse 1. And as YAHAWAHSHI passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did this sin? This man or his parents, that he was born blind?
So
Yahweh,
they asked him the Most High, who did sin, this man or his parents? Because he was born blind. So they're letting us know that a lot of the time our actions or our sin against God, he can punish our children for things that we did. That's why he said when they saw the blind, they saw that he was blind. So they said, who did sin, this man or his parents? Letting us know that his parents have did something against God, that God would cause their child to be born, that their son be born blind. And that same thing can happen to this day. Something could go on with your kid due to something that you did. So that's another incentive to do as the Most have instructed us to do. And a lot of people might say, well, it's not fair that the Most High punished the children for something that the parent did. But we have to go back and see what God said about this in Isaiah chapter 55, verse 8 through 9. If somebody can get that. Now we can't question God about why would you do this or why would you do that.
So Isaiah 58.
Isaiah chapter 55, verse 8 and 9.
All right. The book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts.
See that? So that's why we can't question the Most High about why would you do harm to children by something that a parent did. That ain't for us to ask or even think about. It basically it is what it is. He said, my thoughts are not yours. But again, in John chapter 9, verse 1 and 2, they will give you incentive to do as we are told, do as the commandments say. You know.
Let me get a precept to go with what you were saying, King.
Yes, sir.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 35. Let me get in here right quick. 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 35. Because he said, and the disciples was asking him in John, who did sin, Master? Did he sin or did his parents sin? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So verse 35, it says, "For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared." So the one thing we need to keep in mind is that after death shall the judgment come. A lot of people, we might not know or might not understand, but we've all been here before. You know what I'm saying? And how we continue to live on throughout life is, or not throughout life, but when we come into this world, we are actually living out a judgment that was passed against us. But after death shall the judgment come. See that? When we shall live again. That's why we all somehow got that feeling of deja vu, like we done been here before. You know what I'm saying? Everybody done been here constantly over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? That's why the disciples asked him in John chapter 9, verse 1 and 2, about the blind man. Did he sin in a past life, or did his parents sin? Or did he sin in his current life, or was it something that his parents did? They knew about it. Just like when they asked him about Elijah coming back. He told them that he did come back, but it was John the Baptist. But that's another story for another time. But I just wanted to bring that out right quick. It's on you, King.
Yes, I appreciate that, bro. From now, let's go to the book of 2 Samuel 22, verse 32.
22:32.
Yes, sir. No, don't worry, don't bring that out.
No.
Let's go to Romans chapter 8, verse 31 through 32. Book of Romans chapter 8, verse 31 through 32.
This is Romans chapter 8, verse 31. What shall we then say to these things? If Yahawah be for us, who can be against us?
Right. So don't it said if your how be for us, who can be against us? If they say God don't, it don't, if God on our side, it don't matter who is against us. Read.
He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things?
If he said he that spared not his own son, but deliver him up for all us, how shall he not? How shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Meaning, if he cared so much about us that he let them crucify his son, why would he not give us all things if he cared that much about us? Why would he not do that? Let us know that we can get all things through God, through the Most High. Well,
Right.
like I said earlier, it's a stipulation. You just don't get it just because you know you're an Israelite, or just because you're an Israelite. It's a bunch of wicked Israelites. We have to be ready and willing to do the laws of the Most High in order to get that protection, like I said, in order to receive all things through the Most High. And when we say receive all things, we ain't saying, I'm not saying because you said you want big fancy house because you keeping the laws, you're going to get that big fancy house. No, I'm saying that the Most High will make sure that you receive the necessity that you need in order to survive. And saying you're going to be rich, a big house, big car, but you're not going to be around here in starvation and about to lose everything when you constantly strive to keep the Most High law.
Right. Also, in there, he said, he that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all. That let you know right there that Christ is not the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? They not the same. They got the same mindset, but they are not the same. You know what I'm saying? Because how can one individual offer themselves up? You know what I'm saying? When it said he that spared not his own son. So it got to be a father and a son. They ain't the same. Yeah, they can be on the same mindset, but they are not the same. You know what I'm saying? Just want to bring that out as well. Because it's been an argument that, they all one, what is it, Father, the Christ, and the Holy Spirit, they all one, like a Holy Trinity thing. Nah, they separate. They're not the same. But it's on you though, King.
There's a lot of people caught up in that too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people caught up in it. Okay, I'm gonna bring out one more story. It's gonna be the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3, and we're gonna read chapter 3, verse 1, all the way through 26. And this here is another example of God's protection.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 1. Then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead, and all his brethren helped him, and so did all they that held with his father, and they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel.
Right, and this is Judas Maccabeus is the son of Mattathias Maccabeus. And at this point, Mattathias, he has passed away, and his son Judas is ruled. Read
Verse 3. So he gat his people great honor and put on a breastplate as a giant, and girded his warlike harness about him. And he made battles, protecting the host with his sword. And
Judas was a warrior. He wasn't no joke. He said and put on a breastplate as a giant. Read
verse 4. In his acts he was like a lion's whelp worn for his prey.
See that he went
For
no
he
joke.
pursued it's like
You got
for he pursued the wicked and sought them out, and burnt up those that vexed his people.
That's right.
say he
Wherefore,
burnt up. Say he burned those up who vexed his people. Read.
wherefore, the wicked shrunk for fear of him, and all the workers of iniquity were troubled, because salvation prospered in his hand.
Read.
He, he grieved also many kings, and made Jacob glad with his acts, and his memorial is blessed forever.
That's right.
Moreover, he went through the cities of Judah, destroying the ungodly out of them, and turning away wrath from Israel.
They
So,
turned away wrath from. It said he turned away wrath from Israel.
so that he was renowned unto the utmost parts of the earth, and
Very
he
well
received,
known throughout the earth. He
and he
was doing.
received.
He was going through slaughtering these other nations. It said he was renowned unto the utmost part of the earth. So people, the world, hearing about Judah Maccabees. Read.
And he received unto him such as were ready to perish, Then Apollonius gathered the Gentiles together, and a great host out of Samaria to fight against Israel. Which thing then Judas perceived, he went forth to meet him, so he smote him and slew him. Many also fell slain, but the rest fled. Wherefore Judas took their spoils, and Apollonius' sword also, and therewith he fought all his life long. Now, when Saren, a prince of the army of Syria, heard say that Judas had gathered unto him a multitude and company of the faithful to go out with him to war, he said, I will get me a name and honor in the kingdom, for I will go fight with Judas and them that are with that them Salaki. I will go and fight with Judas and them that are with him who despise the king's commandment. So he made him ready to go up, and there went with him a mighty host of the ungodly to help him, and to be avenged of the children of Israel. And when he came near to the going up of Bethoron, Judas went forth to meet him with a small company, who, when they saw the host coming to meet them, said unto Judas, how shall we be able, being so few, to fight against so great a multitude and so strong, seeing we are ready to faint with fasting all this day?
So they had been fasting, and they feeling weak, so they were ready to faint from fasting all that day. Read.
Verse 18. Unto whom Judas answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of few, and with the God of heaven it is all one to deliver with a great multitude or a small company. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of the hosts, but the strength comes from heaven.
See that?
Read it again.
The victory of the battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength comes from heaven. They come again us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us, and our wives and children and to spoil us. But we fight for our lives and our laws.
See that? So they fight for their lives and their law. The same law that we have to this day. Read.
Wherefore, the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face.
Right there before them.
And as for you, be ye not afraid of them.
He telling them don't be afraid of them because he know that the Lord had their back. Why? Because they keeping the commandment. He said we fight for our what is that? We fight for our their laws, for their lives and their laws. Read.
Now, as soon as he had left off speaking, he looked suddenly unto them, and so Saren and his hosts were overthrown before him. And they
Read.
pursued them from the going down of Bethoron unto the plain, where were slain about 800 men of them, and the residue fled into the land of the Philistines.
So
Then
he
began
slayed 800. Says, and the slain were about 800 men, and the residue fled into the land of Philistine. Read.
the fear of Judas and his brethren, and an exceeding great dread to fall upon the nations round about them. insomuch as his fame came to the king, and all nations talked of the battles of Judas.
See that? So these men keeping the commands and basically being pleasing in the Most High eyes. And when it's time for them to go to battle, they not afraid because why? They know that the Most High got their back. Read that in 19 again. It says, I got it. It says, for the victory of the battle standing not in the multitude of the host, but strength coming from heaven. He wouldn't have got that strength if he was out there in all type of wickedness, doing
That's
what
right.
he wanted to do, doing everything against the Most High. He wouldn't even have the mindset that he had if he was living like that.
Right.
So
Especially,
basically, I'm gonna bring this out. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, our people, we have been so far removed from who we are, we don't even recognize that the Most High fights for us. We put our trust in what we learned from Bruce Lee, karate. You know what I'm saying? Bullets, guns, how much we can bench at the gym. That's where we find our strength at now. You know, how many books we done read, how many degrees we got. That's where we find our strength today as a nation. We don't realize our strength actually comes from the Most High, that he fights for us. You know what I'm saying? And these are the stories that we have to read constantly to build our spirit up, to keep us strong and enduring through all things, to fight for the lost, to fight for our people. You know what I'm saying? We have to read these things over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Because this is proof that our strength comes from the heaven and how we must have it in our mindset at all times. Not getting A's and B's on a damn report card, thinking that's going to make us strong. Or, you know what I'm saying, how much money we got in our pockets or what type of car we drive. That ain't no strength. That's weakness. That's vanity. But it's on you though, King.
Yes, sir. Let's get one more example. Let's read the book of Daniel, chapter 3, 1 through 30. Daniel chapter 3, 1 verse through 30. 1 through 30.
All right. All right, give me a second.
All right.
Book of Daniel. All right. Chapter 3, verse 1. And it reads, Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and captains and judges and treasurers and counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image of Nebuchadnezzar, the king had set up. Then the princes, governors, captains, judges, treasurers, counselors, sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then an herald cried aloud, meaning a trumpet, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up.
So y'all know as Israelites, we don't supposed to worship no image. We don't worship any image, not even an image of YAHAWAH, what they claim as YAHAWAH. We don't worship no image. Read.
So what about if they playing the national anthem, brother? We ain't supposed to do nothing for that?
Hell no. And we ain't pledging no allegiance to no flag either.
That's right. Verse 6. And whosoever falleth not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
So he threatened them, if you don't worship the image, you're gonna be cast into a fiery furnace.
Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whosoever falleth not down and worship, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
So they over there snitching on the Jews.
Right. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye shall fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is it that God shall deliver you out of my hands? Or, excuse me, and who is that God?
Who is that God that should deliver you out of my hands? You want to know who is this God that got gonna stop me from doing what I plan on doing to you? Read 16.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this manner. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king.
Hey, you see how bold he's speaking, knowing he got a power God, they got his back. He's speaking bold to the king.
Right.
He ain't worried about the consequences because he know who got his back, which is the Most High.
Verse 18. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
Let them know we not finna do your bidding. We not finna go against our God. We not worried about what you say you're gonna do to us. We got a powerful God. They got our back.
That's right.
And when he said that you
go ahead, King.
When he was speaking, you can bet that he went saying that with a trembling voice either. He went saying that when you see these slave move, when he grabbed his hand and goes holding his head down, talking to mouth and twitching his hand in his hand. He went talking to him like that. He probably talking both. But 19.
All
right.
I'm sorry. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 6.
Yep.
So that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me.
That's right. Good precept.
Right.
Yeah, 19. I'm not.
Yes, sir. Daniel chapter 3, verse 19. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, I bet, and the form of his visage, meaning his face, was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. So he wanted it to be heated up 7 times more than it was normally heated. Verse 20. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men, were bound in their coats, their hosen, their hats, and their garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because of the king's commandment was urgent and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Dang.
And
So
these,
that flame, hey, he got the flame so hot it slew the people working for the king.
all right. Verse 23, and these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake, and said unto his counselors, Did we cast three men bound in the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the fourth is like the Son of God.
See that it says son of the fourth is like the Son of God. Basically saying he see the Most High with them. Read.
I just want to ask a question, like, how is it that the other nation was able to see the fourth man and say that that's the Son of God?
He wanted
Think
them
about
to.
that. Think about that. So the other nations knew that the Most High had a son that was coming, that was doing his due. They knew that. Just like they know today. They just want to hide it from us, though. But verse 26, then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. 27, and the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose body the fire had no power, nor was in any hair of their heads singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. That's mighty right there.
Mm-hmm.
Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word,
Hey,
and delivered his servants that trusted in him.
Right. Trust in him, you trust in the Most High by keeping his commandments, so they let you know that Abednego, Meshach, and Shadrach have been keeping the God's commandments.
All right. And delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any God except their own.
That's right.
Therefore, I make a decree that every people, nation, language, which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces. That's right. And their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon.
See that?
It's mighty right there.
King saw how powerful they God was. God protected them because they were keeping his commandments. Once the king saw how the Most High delivered them, Meshach, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, once he saw how God delivered them, he knew that they had powerful God, and he knew that he could not deal with them in that manner. He knew they had protection, and he wasn't no fool. So he saw what kind of God they had. When he got people, what he said, then the king promoted Meshach and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Basically, he was like, I got to be down with them. Because they God, he knew what kind of God they had. Why would we go against some with a God like that?
Right.
But again, I just brought that out to show how important it is to have the protection from the Most High by keeping his commandments.
And we bring our precept to go right with that.
Yes, sir.
This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 33, verse 1, and it reads, "There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation, even again, he will deliver him." So won't no evil happen unto them that feareth the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing we gotta keep in mind as well. That's what Meshach or the Abednego and the other brother, they knew that. They understood that. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they understood that.
That's right. That's
And
right.
just like you say in what is that? Proverbs 3 and 5. You gotta trust in the Lord. Let me get that right quick. I know you're going to close out here in a second. But that was a commandment what they did. This is a commandment for us as a nation to keep. Proverbs 3 and 5, and it reads, "Trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not unto thine own understanding." That's a commandment right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not if you feel like it. Or maybe Esau, he might have said, I might have read that in his book. Nah, the Lord told Israel, trust in him for your
That's right.
protection, for your well-being. Trust in the Lord, not half-heartedly, but with all thine heart. That's what we gotta keep in mind. It's on you though, Ken.
That's right.
I got a precept to go with that Proverbs 3:5. This is the book of Psalms chapter 16, verse 1. It says, "Preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust."
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So
I'm
that
bring
goes,
out. Go ahead, bro.
I said that just goes, hand in hand with the precepts you brought out. You said in order to do so, you have to we have to exemplify. We have to put out that mustard seed of faith or trust. You know what I'm saying? You got to trust in the Most High. You got to
That's
believe.
right.
You got to do it with the works, which is also the commandments. Those are the works that are laid out before us to put those things together, so we can make so we can have the things that we want in this life.
That's right.
For the
I'm
word,
bring out.
it also says, "Seek ye first the kingdom, and all other things shall be added unto thee." So
Right. Yes,
that's
sir.
it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that, brother. I got one. This last script what I got. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 1 through 2. We got Isaiah chapter 43, verse 1 through 2.
43. Okay. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 43. You said verses
1 and 2.
1 and 2. All right.
Yes, sir.
Verse 1. "But now, thus said Yahweh, that created thee, O Jacob, and he that hath formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. And when thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee."
See that? So that's the kind of trust we got to have in the Most High. That long we doing what we supposed to be doing, He gonna do what He promised He would do, which is it said the Lord comfort with His promises. So that's a promise of comfort from the Most High. See that He said, "Neither shall the flame kindle upon thee." And what He did for Meshach and Abednego and Shadrach. did that for them. So we have to have trust and faith in the Most High. Keep His commandments so He can keep His promise of protection that He has for us. And so that's all I
That's
got.
right.
That's all I have for tonight. Unless anybody want to bring something out, I hope that the viewers get something out of the class. And I want to thank everybody for joining in for tonight's Sabbath class. And unless the brothers have anything, and y'all want anyone want to bring out anything?
Let's bring out the classic. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58.
All right.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58. The brother brought out a mighty class. This is something that a topic that we have to constantly tell ourselves over and over and over again to keep our spirits going, to be able to endure the things that we go through in life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and continue to push and fight day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? In
Yes,
order
sir.
to make it to where we're trying to get to, which is the kingdom, eternity or immortality, rulership. You know what I'm saying? But this is the main thing we got to keep in mind. Through obedience, we get protection. And also what it says in this verse, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58, it says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always, not sometimes, but always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So we got to stay dialed in this truth, day in and day out. We can't take days off, no vacations. We had that time when we was in the world, not knowing and understanding who we were and what our purpose was. Now that we in this truth and we got an understanding as to what's actually going on in this world, we ain't got time to take days off. We ain't got time to be vacationing from the Lord or from who we are. We got to always be abounding in the work of the Lord, studying, reading, praying, fasting, doing the things that we are supposed to be doing and putting in work day in and day out. Because now we got a real mission, a real purpose in life. It ain't just about going to get money to pay bills. Everybody got that job. Even your enemy got that job. But you're an Israelite, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man who have been scattered worldwide. You have a purpose in life now. And that's to go out and wake up your people and restore them to greatness. You know what I'm saying? That's our job. You have purpose in life now. It ain't just about making money. It ain't about just having a good time. The Lord said, we over here, this ain't our resting place. This is not where we supposed to be at. So we got to be always abounding in the work of the Lord day in and day out, putting in work. Not only for yourself, not only for your family, but for the Lord and for your nation of people. So we got to be steadfast. We can't do what we want to do when we feel like it. We can't be blown to and fro by the wind of different doctrines. We got to be unmovable in this truth. We got to be willing and ready to do this work day in and day out, putting your life on the line. You know what I'm saying? We put our lives on the line, just going back and forth to be oppressed every day. How much more for the Lord? So this is the mindset that we have to keep and have with us every day. And as the brother class stated, hey, we have to receive the protection of the Most High while doing these things. You know what I'm saying? Protection of God is what we need in order to be able to endure day in and day out. Just wanted to bring that out and make sure that our brothers and sisters are aware of the mission at hand. Don't take it lightly. Don't take it for joke. It's an honor. It's a privilege to be awakened to this truth and to do the work. You got to stay on fire and unmovable in this truth. But that's all I had on that.
Thank you for that, brother. That's right.
All
So
praise.
once again, That's
Once again,
once
we
again,
got these feast days coming up. Feast day coming up one more time. Just putting that on the forefront for our brothers and sisters if they are unaware. Part of keeping the commandments, part of getting that protection, part of repentance is keeping the feast days. So you need to dial in and keep the feast days. Open the Bible, read, come back, bethink yourself, learn who you are and what you're supposed to be doing. As we come out of the ways of this world, celebrating Christmas and birthdays, we got to come back to our heritage, which is keeping these commandments, keeping the feast days. And these are just 3 of them that's coming up. So keep that in mind as well. But I'm going to close up and pass it back to the brother.
Thank you for that. But yeah, once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in on tonight's Sabbath class. And we are A.O.I. And again, I'm Brother Ezekiel.
Brother Leonidas.
And Brother Ananias.
And like I said, we are A.O.I. And we'll see you guys next Sabbath. Thanks for tuning in.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.